Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with the crew.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
We had a viewer request from Travis Schallenberger, and he wanted to know how to insert nuisance encounters, annoying NPCs into your campaign without your players just murdering them. So this isn't a game that I've actually played a lot of, but I know you guys have. Neverwinter Nights, Norbert?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
Who was just an annoying NPC that would keep popping up to basically annoy you.
My take on this is, number one is 5th edition has really taken the stage of a campaign from, oh, I'm an adventurer and all I do is go off and go on quests and do things, and doesn't really have the existence of downtime unless the players need it to heal up. 5th edition says, you know what? You've got a job, or you should have a job. You exist, and every once in a while,
or you at least had a job.
At least had a job
before you became wealthy.
And now you've got the situation that every so often you're going to go off on a quest, and the DMG really says, you know what, you should have some downtime. So if you're traveling, back and forth from city A to city B, or you exist in one town, city, and you're questing out and back too, it makes it very easy to insert a character who happens to either be a former adventurer who wants to, oh, let me tell you what I did in my day, and give you all kinds of, feedback that may or may not be helpful, but would fall into that nuisance thing. You could have a young upstart who wants to become an adventurer and is always looking for, well, what do I do next? What do I do next? Or a hangers-on of somebody who has no skill whatsoever, but wants to be around the popular kid, the adventurer
from The Incredibles. The main villain,
yeah. Right.
Timmy, right? Was his name? Yeah.
So if you have something like that,
He actually had skill though. He could make some pretty cool stuff.
yes,
But he was annoying.
But if you create something like those, they're very easy to do, and every time the players come into town, after a successful mission, one of these type of people could be there to be like, oh well, this is how you really should have done it, or oh my God, can you tell me the whole thing, and really get in their face about it. If your players are the heroes that they're supposed to be, they're not going to just turn around and kill your NPC right there in the middle of town. That's kind of against the whole heroic code.
And not only that, in some places they call that murder,
and it's illegal.
And it's illegal. Yeah. So you can't really. There's a bigger problem if your players are actually killing things that annoy them, because and you're not doing your job. You're doing it wrong as the GM if you're allowing that.
Not that they can kill them.
Yeah, they can, but there's
going to be consequences.
Yeah, like paladins will start showing up in droves when you do that too often, and your alignment will change.
Absolutely.
And if you happen to already be a paladin, you may become an oathbreaker.
And that might be some people's goals.
Right. Or if you're a warlock, your patron might be going, excellent.
Excellent. He's coming over to my side more and more each day.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. We also did a monster BFF on I don't know if it was sprites or pixies, but along with fairy dragons. Mm-hmm. And really it was all about basically the annoying encounter. Mm-hmm. Even in that encounter, which happens in a wilderness.
Was it fairy dragons and sprites?
It was, or it was pixies.
I think they were interchangeable. Sorry.
Yeah, they were interchangeable. But here's the point is, right? Even in that encounter, they can choose to figure it out and then start killing the stuff. But what they might then learn is, even though this may not have been the adventure you planned, but it's the adventure your players forced upon you, is that they are actually all owe sovereignty to a greater fairy court. Mm-hmm. And if you start murdering the subjects of these archfey, who some of which are maybe powerful enough to grant warlock pacts, which means you do not want to F with them because the Fae can be scary, crazy scary. There's again, it goes back to consequences, right? Right. You got angry, the sprite tied your boots together, you fell, and your reaction was to kill it. Well, now next thing you know, satyrs are showing up, dryads are showing up, unicorns are showing up. Trent might show up. Maybe centaur allies are showing up.
Centaurs and their bigger brothers are going to show up.
Yeah, so like there's all these things that could really make your players' lives miserable. And even better, take them prisoner. Don't kill them. And then and then they get brought before like this fake court, and basically there's like a trial. Right. And like so there could be more opportunities for adventure and for the players to kind of like come to grips with what happened, what they've done. Wereguild is a concept among the Fae, which they may be required to pay for the life that they cost, right? So, and then like they may measure, suppose this archfey that's ruling over the trial goes, you know what? I could kill you all right now, and it still would not be the equivalent of the life of that sprite, because maybe the sprite is lives for thousands of years or whatever, and you got the sum of the tally of your lives doesn't even equal up to that, and you're non-fey to boot. So like they get thrust into this epic quest to pay this wereguild, or else perhaps like they're cursed horribly. So when they're not working on this quest, they're totally nerfed with like everything they do, and horrible things are happening to them.
So with one more thing for the Fae thing. So another thing is you can figure out why the Archfey might want to have the quest that you had planned completed, and then insert the players and be like, you must do this thing now. This material that I've already written, this Archfey wants done. so you can kind of like still incorporate the work you've done, just figure out why the Archfey wants it to be completed.
So with the actual stuff in the city, all of this could technically apply. Perhaps you didn't do your research, or the players didn't do their research on who this kid is, or NPC. Perhaps he's linked to
the Baron, the mayor,
to the Baron, the mayor. Somebody of influence. And that's why he's always around, because he knows that the party's actually doing stuff, because he's in the know.
Maybe he's actually undercover.
Perhaps it's an undercover situation.
Actually just an act, that annoying, pestering person.
And if it goes so far to say, okay, well, you've murdered him, well, you can still stand trial for all the different situations. You can be like, well, look, you had no cause to do any harm to this kid. What kind of levies of taxes, and what are you going to do? To make up for the situation, regardless of you being a hero of town, this is blatant murder. This makes no sense.
I like how we all go towards the road rage execution of this pestering him.
No, he says kill.
Use
the word kill.
They do it.
How do my players not kill them? Yeah.
Oh, how do they not kill them? Oh, yeah. Then the stick method, there's consequences.
Right.
Okay.
So, but normally, your players should be heroes. They shouldn't be doing, this kind of thing. And overall, the overarching thing of it, you want to use the NPC to the point where the players are just barely annoyed by this guy, that they groan every time he shows up, but he's gone before they're like, all right, that's it, and draw steel. That's what you kind of want to...
if it's a street urchin, they're going to be able to, they'd have to chase him through the city, and the street urchin's going to have advantage to get away.
And from a totally different standpoint, make them useful. So they're completely annoying, and the players groan and hate to see them, but, always have them have a purpose. And in your story anyway, and they always provide a relevant piece of information, maybe an object, maybe they know somebody.
But maybe it takes like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
interacting.
There's like role playing that will make you want to slit your throat. That has to take place first, and that's why
that's the pestering part.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, when are you going to tell us?
So if you make him be a street urchin, he's got connections. He's been around for a while, But the only way he's going to share the information is if he actually interacts. I think that's actually a really good idea.
He could even be a human and a magic initiate. Because you don't have to have class, right, to have a feat if you're a human. So you can take the very human, be an urchin, just have magic initiate, like no class levels. He's just like a regular guy with magic.
He's an
initiate.
NPC. You can do whatever you want.
Well, that's just true. But I'm just saying for like super low level, like my street urchin is actually a level 10 rogue, like that kind of, to stay away from that kind of mentality. But have mage hand and a few other things that mage hand
and prestidigitation. That's enough to drive anyone crazy.
Yeah, just those two things are enough. and it's easy for somebody that would just like a little bit of magic training.
You can even have a hamster animal companion.
Yeah, there you go. Ready to go.
Ready to go. So with that, guys, in the comments below, let us know what you think. How would you handle it? Do your players just murder anything that annoys them? While you're at it, like, subscribe, and share.
You can check us out on Facebook.
You can also join the conversation over on Reddit.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.